Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right in to tackle a massive topic for small business owners. Today, we're going to learn how to spot recurring friction in the business, specifically looking at operations and systems so we can identify repeated work.
Okay, before we dive into the weeds, let's talk about how we actually fix operations. We use the Built to Thrive model, which has three distinct layers: awareness, practice, and maturity. Now listen closely. Today's guide is purely at the awareness layer. We aren't building complex flowcharts today, and we aren't buying new software. We are simply learning to notice the issues. We just want to spot exactly where friction is showing up in your day-to-day work.
And to do that, we need a major mindset shift. Ready? Here it is. Friction is information. When the exact same delays, mistakes, or missed follow-ups keep happening week after week, you have to stop seeing it as a personal failure. That friction is literally your business speaking to you. It's revealing exactly where your routines are unclear or just straight up missing. Once you start seeing friction as usable data, well, everything changes. So let's get into it. Step 1 is to look for repeated problems, not isolated mistakes. Take a step back and start spotting the patterns. You know the ones: forgotten tasks, clients asking the exact same questions over and over, missed follow-ups, unclear handoffs, or having to redo a job entirely. We need to stop looking at these as individual random mistakes and start seeing them for what they really are: an operational pattern. Moving right along to step 2, we need to find where the work actually slows down. In most small businesses, work doesn't usually break while it's being done. It breaks during the transitions. Think about the jump from inquiry to response, or from delivery to invoicing. Ask yourself right now, where does work just sit there and wait? Where are you constantly chasing people for updates? And honestly, where are your personal reminders replacing actual reliable routines?
Now, step 3 is a real game changer. We have to separate people problems from system problems. It is so easy to blame your team, or even blame yourself, when tasks get missed or delayed. But what looks like a people problem is almost always a missing system. For example, repeated questions? That happens because of unclear instructions. Missed tasks? That happens because there's no checklist. Delays? That just means the next step, or who owns that step, is completely unclear.
Let's look at a few more of these, matching the symptom directly to the missing system. Missing files? That points to inconsistent storage. A missed follow-up? That means open work just isn't visible to the team. If your crew has to redo a task, you've got unclear standards. And my personal favorite, if absolutely everything waits for you, the owner, to give the green light, yeah, that means responsibilities are unclear. By matching the frustrating symptom to the missing system, a chaotic feeling suddenly becomes a very solvable gap.
Right. On to step 4. We need to identify the cost of all this friction, because it's not just annoying, it's expensive. When transitions are delayed, it directly hits your cash flow. Messy handoffs impact your delivery times and your quality, which frustrates customers and ultimately leads to lost sales. And we can't ignore the invisible cost here, the sheer amount of stress it puts on you, the owner, not to mention the potential risks to compliance or even safety.
Which brings us to step 5. This is absolutely crucial. Relieve the overwhelm by choosing just one friction point to make clearer. Just one. Pick an issue that's highly visible, really costly, or customer-facing. Make one practical change. Decide that, starting today, you'll log every single inquiry in one central place. Or simply add follow-up dates to your quotes. Or start using a basic job start checklist. Do not try to boil the ocean. Just make one specific change to reduce the friction.
Finally, step 6 is where we apply the cure. Name the missing routine. The truth is, almost all friction can be solved by one of these 5 structural fixes. You probably need a clear workflow, a simple checklist, some basic documentation to stop repeating yourself, a recurring review habit, or clear ownership that explicitly states who is responsible for what. It's like a matching game. Name the friction and pair it with the right routine. As we wrap up this awareness exercise, let's talk about what good enough actually looks like. Listen, you do not need a perfectly optimized machine today. You are successful if you can just identify your reoccurring problems, know where work slows down, separate your people issues from your system issues, understand what it's costing you, and pick just one issue to improve first. If you can do that, you're in a fantastic position. I really, really want this next thought to sink in. You do not need to solve the whole business. You just need to stop treating recurring friction as random. Take the pressure off yourself to have a perfect, flawless company right this second. Instead, start treating those daily annoyances and bottlenecks as actionable data. It's a total game changer.
To help you put all of this into practice, definitely grab the free Recurring Friction Finder tool. It's going to help you track those repeated delays and unclear handoffs over the next week. And once you've identified them, you'll be perfectly set up for our next guide, Map Your Most Important Operating Routines. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. What is the one recurring delay in your business this week that you've been blaming on bad luck, which is actually just a missing checklist? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you in the next one.